Hello, I am Grandmaster Mikhail Marin, and I would like to be your guide through Wilhelm Steinitz' strategic universe. When we mention the name of the first official world champion, the first thing that comes up to mind is strategy, positional play. And when we mention strategy, the first world champion that comes up to mind is Wilhelm Steinitz, of course. But this is only partly justified. Steinitz grew and obtained his first, not so few, major successes as an attacking and tactical player, like almost everybody else in those times. But then at some point, he had some sort of revelation or awakening. He understood that there is some inner logic in our favorite game, that not all the attacks and combinations are justified. Not all of them are correct, and not all of them should be crowned by success. And then he started thinking and writing about all these positional elements and strategy. When doing so, he was so carried away that he became very one-sided as a thinker, as a writer. There is also a funny story. When he moved to the States, his friend Samuel Lloyd, the famous problem composer, helped him to be the director, the editor of Chess magazine. And what do you think that Steinitz started with? He wrote a series of articles trying to prove that Morphy was not such a great player after all. His opponents were defending poorly. Of course, this was politically not correct. He lost his popularity. But it was not true either, because, of course, Morphy had an inner instinct and talent. He was quite a good player. But he went very much to the extremes. He started to disbelief, to have marked disbelief in the attacking philosophy. He thought that attacking is not correct and defense should always prevail. Okay, he also said many clever things. For instance, he said that an advance in development has a temporary, volatile character. Because, advanced development was what all the players were heading for in his times. And in order to take advantage of it, you have to convert it into something stable, like some positional advantage, a weakness or whatever, or material advantage, of course. He also said that the player who had an advantage needed to attack at once in order to maintain his advantage and to avoid to prevent the position from turning equal, or even worse for the player. He could somehow judge both sides of the coin, of the medal, but in principle he was very much one-sided. He was preaching the favor of positional chess and stable things, solid play. Fortunately for him, he as a player he was quite universal, even after the moment he had this revelation. And there are many games of him where he only partly obeys his own judgments and recommendations. So this makes him even more interesting as a player than as a preacher. Now, the good question is, if we think that Steinitz lived in the final part of the 19th century, one good question from a modern reader would be, but can we really learn something from Steinitz? Did he understand anything about modern, what we call now modern chess? And my answer is yes. It's not by chance, but that I have chosen this position as a background. I will not play any moves here. There is a video with it, actually 2 videos. If you didn't know who played this game, you would think that it was played over the past decades, or at least, not earlier than, let's say, the 70s. And still, it was played in, not in the 70s, but in the 60s. But it was the 1860s. So 100 years earlier than one could think. So yes, he was both classical and hypermodern, as we see in this position. And he could handle many different types of positions. And even in concrete play, he had many games where he was very accurate. So I can think that many of his games can be used for training or learning. And I would finish my discourse with a personal story. Some 20 years ago, I think it was in 2003, I had some bad years and my rating has dropped dramatically, almost 100 points. And then I went to play a tournament in Cannes. We were living in a very nice place, but it was a few kilometers away from the playing hall, outside the city. We had no internet, so I learned the name of my opponent only a few minutes before each game. So, there was no preparation. And the only preparation I did there was playing over Steinitz games from an old Russian book written by Neustadt. And, guess what? I won the tournament. It was quite a strong open tournament. I won it. Steinitz was inspiring, and it was not so much the strategic concept in his games, but the accuracy in many phases. Of course, he tried to play positional chess, but he could calculate and he could choose, many times he could choose the best or one of the best continuations. So this is just a personal story to convince you that, it is worth indeed to learn a bit about Steinitz. Not only from historical point of view. Of course, for me, history is always interesting, but also from pure chess point of view. You don't lose anything if you spend some time with his games. So now everything general has been said, and I have tried to choose some of Steinitz's best examples who are related with strategy. I hope you'll enjoy it.